It's Kelsi with WrestlingInc.com, and I'm joined by WWE Hall of Famer, DDPY creator, and all-around kick-ass guy, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. Thank you for joining us.
I love your energy.
Thanks. I love yours too, because guess what? I used to do DDPY, and it's one of my favorite exercises ever to do. Talk about the creation of DDPY and, you know, why it's so special of an exercise program.
Well, you know, for starters, I came up with it in 1999 out of desperation more than anything, because I blew my back out and I had 3 different spine specialists telling me my wrestling career was over. Well, I just signed a multi-million-dollar 3-year deal. I just got to the top of the mountain. I wasn't ready to walk away. Kind of like where Daniel Bryant didn't want to walk away, but he had to put the work in. He did a lot of stuff with oxygen chambers to help heal his brain. You know, for me, it was about healing my back. And when I went to see my spine specialist after I was about close to 3 months, he said he'd never seen a recovery like that. Because what I did was I ruptured my L4 and L5, so that spine that we have, in between it are these amazing discs that God created. Well, they're gone, so it's bone on bone. So I have to constantly be stretching and strengthening my body, and that's why I came up with it, and now it's turned into a pretty cool phenomenon.
It really has. And another really cool phenomenon is what we're seeing right now with All In and Starrcast. And recently on NWA's YouTube channel, there was a great video where you and Cody were sharing a moment. You're going to be walking down to the ring with him. Talk about how special this whole weekend is and what Cody and the Bucks are doing, how special that is.
It's amazing. I mean, it's really, a lot of people are like totally, you know, when it first happened, a lot of people were completely blown away and they couldn't believe what was happening. But you have to know a little bit of history, and I'm going to share it with you. When Cody was I've known him since he was 10. Without Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, there is no Diamond Dallas Page. He took me under his wing and believed in me when nobody did. Nobody. And as you know, as we got closer and closer, I would be with the family. And so I've known Cody since a little kid. And then when he was going to be a sophomore that summer, I was getting ready to go to the WWE. And I said to him, I said, so when you start football practice? And he said, I'm not going to play football this year. I'm going to just wrestle. I go, you're not playing football? He's like, no. He said, not this year. He said, next year, my junior year, he goes, I'm going to be a state champion. I was like, really? Wow. And back then, I used to always call him Young Buck.
That's so funny. How coincidental.
How crazy, you know? And I've never really told the story till this week, because I've been saving it because of the Young Bucks and how amazing they are. And they're just their whole relationship. But I said to him, I said, you know, and he knows I'm always teaching people about goal setting and, you know, believing in yourself. Never underestimate the power you give yourself by believing in you. And for him to have that so young, I was really interested in to watch. And at that time, I'd left wrestling. I moved out to LA, and his junior year, he was like 11-0, and I called him up. And I said, hey, man, how you doing? He goes, Dallas, I'm undefeated. I'm having a great year. I'm like, that's awesome, man. And then I called him back when he was like 24-0, and, you know, same thing. And then I called him up when he was 33-0, or somewhere around there. And I was like, hey, say, man, how you doing? He goes, Dallas, man, the Atlanta Constitution, it's the big Atlanta paper, the Journal. They had just done a story on me and my dad, and Eyewitness News. The NBC station was down there, and they filmed it. I mean, Dallas, it's been crazy, like you just don't know. And I went, whoa, slow down, young buck. You know, I think I was a 3-time world champion at one time. No, come on, man. And I was just busting his chops, you know. And I said, listen, young buck, the deal is, you got to keep your feet on the ground, because now you got a huge bullet. You got a whole big sign, on your back. You got a big bullseye on that. You got to keep your feet on the ground, but keep reaching for them stars, bro. And I'll tell you what, you get to the state finals, I'll be there. He goes, you'll fly in from LA? I said, yes. If I tell you I'm going to do something, you know I'm going to do it. So I was there. He went 48-0 that year and won the state championship. Then his next year, I can't remember what match it was. I want to say it was about 11th or 12th match. I gave him a call, and I said, hey, man, I go, how you doing? He goes, I lost, Dallas. I lost. I said, thank God. He's like, what? Why would you say that? I said, Cody, I said, do you think you learn anything from winning? Bro, you learn from losing, falling down, making mistakes. What'd you learn from this? I said, so how would you feel if you were 44-0 and you met that kid in the quarterfinals and he beat you then? I said, now you got his game. What'd you learn from that? So over that next part of the season, everybody's focus was not to get pinned by Cody Rhodes. Even though his name was Cody Runnels, everybody knows it was Cody Rhodes. So bottom line is, he's always thinking of how to take it to another step. And so what he did at that point, because just trying to pin that guy and moving and trying to pin him, he finally thought, screw it, I'll let him up. And then he'd grab him and take him down. And then he'd let him up. And he'd take him down. And he'd wear him down. And either pinned him or beat him, 20-5 or whatever it was. And he gave him those points. So he got all the way to the finals again. Guess who he wrestled?
Who?
That guy who beat him. So this is when you ask me how special this is. So in Georgia, when they have the state championship, the family comes down to the mat. And the family's down there, and I'm actually there with one of my daughters, and her name's Brittany. And so we're watching, we're getting ready to watch the match, and he's on the mat. He yells, "Dad, get Dallas down here." So I go down, still chokes me up a little bit. So I go down. He smoked that guy and won the state championship. Now, what I didn't tell you was his junior year, I flew him out to Los Angeles where I live because he's always wanted to be an actor. And he wasn't really sure. If he won the state championship, he might not want to go to college because he wanted to study acting. So I said, well, after your junior year, I said, I'll fly you out there, whenever you can go get away during the summer. And he just happened to pick a time where my buddy Rob Zombie, who he is? Rob had his first crazy horror film called The House of a Thousand Corpses.
I've seen it, pretty scary.
Yeah, it's pretty weird and scary. I'm in Devil's Reject, so I know, but amazing dialogue that he wrote. But this is Rob's first movie, and there's a big party after. So I brought Cody to the party. He's got pictures with Rob Zombie. Then I brought him to a set of a movie they were filming called Soul Plane. You know who Terry Crews is?
Oh yeah, of course.
Well, Terry Crews is nobody then.
Really?
And I told him, I said, this guy right here, gonna be a huge star. And he got pictures with Terry Crews. So, and I just saw Terry doing a commercial for WWE the other day. So it's all about full circle. But, so the thing with Cody, he ended up, after the match, I said to him, so what do you decide you're gonna do? You're gonna go to college? Because he had hundreds of offers, full scholarship. Or are you gonna come to Hollywood? He said, I'm going to Hollywood. I made the decision before I got here. I said, you made the decision before you got here? I said, what if you lost? And he just smiled at me. And he said, come on, D. Failure was never an option. And it's just like, that's how special that is to me. So when his dad was alive, he would tell me, when we get into intimate talks about how he had 5 friends. And I was always on that list for a long time. And then when he passed, Cody had called me. And he said, listen, my dad, he always had. He didn't say my dad. He always calls him Dusty. He said, Dusty would always say he has 5 friends. He goes, I just want you to know. Right before he passed, he told me that again. And he said, some guys are on the list and off the list. He goes, but Dallas was always on that list. And for him to tell me that, even though I already heard it from Dream, was super special. So when he puts this together for this, you know, the whole Nightmare family, his father-in-law, Otis, who he loves, his brother-in-law, Kevin, Ray Lloyd, and me, and his dog, you know, all wearing the Nightmare jackets. And so, super special. And when people say to me, do you think this was possible? I wasn't surprised, because I know what the kid's done. I can't wait to see what he does in the next 10 years, you know, and then in 10 years after that. That's what I'm excited to see.
I'm excited to see that too, and obviously failure wasn't an option for him. We're seeing that now. This is a big success, and you know, there's only more to come. Starrcast is going great, All In's going to be great, and we heard it from the guy himself. You know, everything is really special. Bang!